Hi, welcome to Matt Bayeski YouTube channel. See my top? What am I wearing today? I'm wearing, of course, my most precious prototype, that is Tektite, Moldavite and Herkimer, and a beautiful bumblebee. And of course, my mala beads. It's a great day to do some meditation and also to work on my crystals today. So I always like to have certain crystals either in my pocket, and speaking of which, remember the raffle we're doing? I've added a few more onto it as well, and let me grab one over here too. I'll add this beauty as well, which is a bumblebee. So it's growing every day, so thank you. A lot of you, I want to say thank you first of all for all of you guys who are so beautiful. You really don't need to do that, but that's really, really kind. You've sent like 3s and 2s and 5s saying please help towards the delivery of the crystals to the children. Well, you know what? Every penny that comes in, I'll work it all in and I'll just continue. And let's see how far we can get with this crystal children giveaway. Let's see how many hundreds we can do. So yeah, thank you. And the ones who sent like £10 and said don't put me into the into it, I'm sorry guys, I can't. I just have to cut them and put them in. I can't go through and say, oh, who's the one who says no. Just go into it, and you know what, if you decide you don't want the crystals, then tell me after, and then we'll redo it again. Okay, that's easier for me, okay, because my mind doesn't work in technical terms like that. I'm a little bit different than other people how I think. Great day today. Nothing wrong with thinking differently as well. Nothing wrong with being different. That's a really wonderful thing, being different. That's what makes the world so beautiful. Anyway, come a bit closer. Let's talk about something which was asked of me a few days ago to expand, and that's about the other world, which I know it to be as our home. I call it the spirit world or home. And a lot of you were finding it a little bit challenging to understand what I meant by the way of where is spirit. And a lot of you believed that when you were brought up that there's a heaven and a hell. And heaven, everybody points up to the stars. If you want to do a little bit of research, over these 16 years, I started being open to understanding what angels were. And the more you research about angels and talk about it, the more you realize that there's a strong possibility that the wings that were drawn on these so-called beings was the only expression that people back then could think of flying. And what that possibly means is that there's also other worlds besides our world. And if you believe that we're the only creatures, only humans or beings in this whole cosmos, then there's nothing I can do to change your mind if that's what you feel. But if you're open enough to think, you know what, there might be other worlds and other people and other beings, and if that's the case, maybe they came down hundreds of thousands of years ago. They've always been coming because their technology is a lot greater than ours. It's hard for us to think that, right? Like we because our ego is so big that we think we're the only ones who have a car, who have an aeroplane. But who says that, you know, there's other worlds that are far more advanced than us? And there might be some truth in that. And maybe when these beings used to come, which they don't now because of our military industrial complex and how, you know, we are run by psychopaths, that they won't come anymore, or because of what we have, you know, nuclear missiles, and we have all sorts of bad things, and we do bad things, not as human beings, but as psychopaths who are running this show on Earth. But back then they used to come down, and when our families many thousands of years ago, we used to scratch into rocks, we put wings because it was the only thing we knew that we could measure up to. Looking at a bird in the sky that flies, how do I express myself to say that somebody comes from the sky down to us? Well, there's a being that's come down to us and shared information and wisdom with us to teach us how to build the pyramids, and or helped us build the pyramids and other things, and then they put wings on them. So I truly feel that there's a misinterpretation. That's my feeling, always has been over these 16 years, that because when I see spirit, I don't see wings. When I see spirit, I see energy that glows around them, and sometimes, not always, a huge energy of glowing, but a feeling of energy that's vibrating in a different way that you and I vibrate. And when I feel spirit, it gives me certain, like, my ear pops or something happens on my body, and then I get this overwhelming download that spirit is trying to share something with me. Now, some people get me wrong when I say the universal message, the universal flow, this universal energy that's filled with information. That, what I mean by that is spirit. Spirit is always around us, giving us information. Now, you can be a normal guy who's getting up in the morning, has his breakfast, goes to work, comes home, watch ITV, watch BBC, and then goes back to sleep again. That is one way to live. And I lived like that for 38 years, right? But when I decided that enough was enough, I didn't want to live this life in this way, I left everything behind and came to a magical mountain and started to see beyond the beyond. What that means is I had time on my hands to realize that things were happening which were very, very significant. And I wrote it in both my books, my new book that's just come out. If you read them stories, there's 32 stories there which will absolutely make you understand what I'm saying. And the beautiful thing about the stories in Seeing the Invisible is that anybody can go through them stories, but most people don't see them. So my argument to most people when they say it's all a load of crap, rubbish, junk, what are you talking about? Stop being an idiot, I say, well, actually, you've probably been through what I've been through in many different ways, but you never had the time to see it. So therefore, this conversation today is about seeing the invisible. So around us, at any given moment, is another world, a world that lives very, very comfortable in their energy and their home. And that is the spirit world. It's the only way I can share it. That's our home. From there, we have a choice to come into the physical when this beautiful body creates the miracle of life. So we enter into this human, beautiful, and we should realize beautifully made body that is all powerful, that has an amazing immune system, that is absolutely everything it needs to be in all its form. When drinking from the mother's milk, which we should all do, and then we eat natural food from the trees and from the soil, as long as it's organic and it's not Monsanto seeds, and we eat the fruits, nuts, plants. When we eat that, our immune system becomes powerful and strong, but more so, we are very balanced, and we have an extremely powerful sixth sense. And what happens is when we are injected by poisons like vaccines, and this was very clever, this was purposely made so that the human body would go out of sync, it would go crazy, it would go into a spasm. So therefore the body is no longer in balance anymore. And once you've got the body out of balance, it does not attune to its higher self. It cannot attune to certain parts within the body, the heart as much, the parts where you can attune to other things and see and feel other things. That's one thing. The other thing is the corporations that feed you non-foods. So your body is struggling and everything in your body is being attacked, and your body doesn't understand non-foods. So any colorings that you're eating, Coca-Cola, crisps, all of that, your body doesn't understand it. So it's really working on a physical level. So then the rest of your senses don't work because your body is trying to fix what's inside your stomach every day and try to take from within that to try and feed your body what it needs to heal and to strengthen certain parts of the body, which is your intuition, your instincts, all the wonderful things that this spiritual is really trying to come out. But it can't come out because the body, physical, isn't balanced. So the two struggle to become one. So you're always going to be out of balance, out of sync. That's why I say when you drink pure water, when you eat fresh fruit and vegetables, you start to awaken to this energy of your spirit and the very, very beautiful perfect parts of your mind that awaken, that, oh my God, I didn't see that, I didn't feel it. And thus, when you are attuned to that, especially children, because they're not fully poisoned, so it takes a while for a child. So you'll normally find that children are very, very attuned to spirit. So I've had literally thousands of mothers and fathers come to me and say, I'm really worried my child's seeing spirit. And I say, there's nothing to worry about. That's normal. What's not normal is when a child doesn't see and feel spirit, because what that means is that your child is highly attuned and they're connecting to our world, our home. And a lot of the times what I had to do is calm the parents down and say, let your child be, nurture them and speak to them about what they're feeling, because it's hard for you to understand because you've lost that. But if you listen to the child and me, because what your child is saying is absolutely right, because I can hear what she's hearing, I can feel what she's feeling. So she's not going crazy. The problem is you're crazy. You know, it's you who's got the problem, not your child. So I had to unlearn them for what they thought, that their child was special. No, the child's not special. The child is being who they are. The physical body is perfect and attuned to these what you would believe are voices. They're not voices, it's the spirit world speaking to us. And sometimes, depending on how strong we are and how powerful our energy is and how powerful that intuition is, the third eye, which is connected to the pineal gland, if all of this is working, functioning, geez, wow, you can feel things and hear things and connect. Why do you think the greatest of minds get inspired and write amazing things and change the world? Because they are at a high level of attunement. And sometimes it's like it just happens. And normally it just happens at that moment where you feel free from pain, free from suffering, free from fear. Fear blocks all of your beautiful talents and your connections to this world. And when you change humanity into fear, that's amazing for the ones who are in control, because the bully always loves all the other children to fear them. Therefore, if you're in fear, you won't do anything. You'll just obey. And that's what the world's doing right now. We're fearing everything. And when you fear everything, the bully can do what he wants, because all the other people in fear will say, okay, whatever you want to do, here's my pocket money. Yes, give me an injection. It's perfect. Yeah, anything you want. So we fear, and that's why the big system is fearing. That's why every day all you see on the TV is fear, 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 fear. You need an injection. You need an injection. Fear, 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 fear. And all the while, the ones at the very top are making trillions of dollars on your fear. So clever. It's called manipulation, and it's an experiment to see how humanity has actually become either awakened or they're just systematically abused and they're in fear. So we can see now people are queuing up for a needle, a vaccine. Help me, quick, please give me a vaccine. And what they don't realize is that within those vaccines, that vaccine stays in your body, it never comes out. Most of the time, that vaccine poison will go to the brain, and guess what then happens? The effects of that is so dramatic that you will never attune to your higher self. So you'll create a world of obedient slaves. So we've got to the point now that you and I are starting to understand that. You've been watching this for 2 years. I've been sharing this message with you, saying, you know what, guys, you need to eat healthy. You need to stop putting poisons into you. Forget the sugars, forget medication. Do your best to try and wean off medication if possible. Go to your doctor, speak to your doctor about your medication. Is it possible if you can slowly wean off? And then listen to alternative healthy people who are living and breathing healthy foods and sharing truth about roots, about all the things that will heal you, okay? So I've been sharing Don Tolman, lots of other people, Layla Satie, Lemon House, all of these people sharing information, strengthen you, mind, body, and spirit. So now you're getting into it and you're understanding this. I'm feeling different now. And sometimes you can feel a little bit, you know what, this is it is, because you're changing your energy, your feelings, you're feeling more, you're becoming more empathic. So when I said to you, when you start walking a path of spirituality, it's sometimes a little bit challenging because you feel more, but that's good. Once you're over that and you allow that in and you nurture it and you say, no, this is good. This is how I should be. This is now, what do I do with it? And that's what I've been trying to share with you. This is what the process I went through 16 years ago. And I'm cool with that now. I'm cool with feeling the pain of the whole world right now. But what do I do with that? So like I used to say to a lot of my students who came to learn tarot, listen guys, anybody can, any fool can see the world's a mess. Any fool can see that the person in front of you is in great chaos and pain and suffering. But it takes a genius to figure out a way of how to help these people. So I spend my life now trying to help the world in any way I can. I'm not here to fix the world. I'm here to help people fix themselves. So if I am able to donate crystals to people that make a child stronger and more powerful, then I'll do that. If I share a message to you every day, I'll do that, because I know my limits and I'm not egoistic thinking I'm a savior, because that is a no-no. Stay away from people who with ego and people who think they can save you. Forget them. That you're wasting your energy and wasting your time. It's all about you and how you can connect to your higher self and connect to this world that is around us. So going back to the story of when I first woke up and realized that the spirit world isn't in heaven, it's around us. The world that we call our home is around us. And what I realized really quickly is that if there was 1,000 people who walked past this academy and never looked up if they were me because of the pain and fear and worry, then they would have never have got the academy. But because I was open to listening and feeling, at the right moment of realizing that when I was told to use the secret and hold the bars of a shop and say it's mine, when I realized that that shop was never going to be mine after 3 years, I walked on this street the same moment when I realized the secret doesn't work. This believing in something so much for 3 years didn't work. The shop that I wanted had sold to somebody else, and I met the girl and she said, oh, I'm turning it into a shoe shop. So I walked back. At the same moment as I'm walking back, I said, okay, just let it be and flow. Allow the universe to flow where I need to be. It was at that moment when I stopped, turned my head and looked at this building, saw the woman next door and said, is that building available? And she said, yeah. And I got it. I never saw this building, never even looked at it. And yet I walk past it every day. And what I realized is that most of us walk past the moment when spirit is guiding us. And what I've been trying to share with you for these years is a really profound secret. And that's what I write in my books. Spirit never lets you down. Spirit never leaves your side. Spirit is always there to help you whenever they can as far as your path allows. But most of us don't believe that or see it or even think they would. So we just walk past. We just don't see it. But I, 16 years ago, awakened to that, and I did see it and I did feel it. And every day I walked into a little room and listened and felt. And I'm here today to tell you, you know what, guys? You're never let down. You are always protected and loved. But you have to meet your family right around you halfway. So I describe this as spirit is here on their energy level and you are here. You have to work at letting go and flowing and being aware that spirit is there helping you at any given moment. And when you do, you rise. And when you rise, spirit feels that and they come to your level and then they help you. Thus, you start to realize that life is more than eating, drinking, sleeping and working. You start to realize that you are loved and protected. And then the bond, the path, the journey between you and our world comes together. So the veil between the two worlds becomes even thinner. You feel them, you walk with them, and you know that they're always there. So the ultimate gift you can give yourself is the gift of universal flow, winning the battle between your heart and mind, living in your heart, working in your heart, and being aware from that moment on that that very energy that you vibrate at now, because you've cleared all the negativity away, you're now eating healthy, looking after yourself. Now is the time you have to practice to listen and to be aware that there is your home spirit world around you, helping you, guiding you with thoughts that come into you from nowhere, from being taken somewhere even though you never even thought about going somewhere, or something just happening, seeing something that you would never even see before, reading something that made you feel amazing. Why did I just feel amazing at that? Or looking at posts that just make you feel, oh my God, why did I feel like that at that post? What made me feel like that? These are all the gentle whispers and the gentle pushes, nudges in the right direction for your family, your loved ones in spirit, who are guiding us every day. So I leave you on this final note. Don't you ever believe that you are alone. Don't you ever tell yourself, don't you let your mind or anybody else ever tell you that you are not protected and that you are only here to feel fear. You are a warrior. You are here because you are a warrior right now. There is no other time on this planet that I've been told that the true nature of the warrior was born for this moment. So you are a true warrior. You have to believe in yourself now, and you have to awaken to the fear and all of the programming that has kept you on your knees. You are a warrior in this world, and the reason why is because you are here and now and you're watching this. There is no coincidences in this world, and that's why you're watching this. You are a most powerful being, and you are going to make the change in this world, because from today, right now, is the first day of the rest of your life. And you haven't even started living yet. You're just about to. So awaken to the words that is shared to you through me, through spirit. It's just a message. I'm just a messenger sharing this message to you. Embrace it. Change your life and become the warrior of the light. You are a lighthouse. That's why you're here. Shine your light and vibrate at such an energy that you can feel spirit, you can feel the protection, and you can change this world in so many ways. And I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And the day that you start believing in yourself more than what I believe in you is the day you become your own guru, teacher, and guide. And on a final note, no one has the power over you. Till tomorrow, have a great day, guys. Love you all. Keep shining, keep being true, and don't let the buggers get you down. You're too powerful for it. You're too clever. Take care.